Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-NextGen, Congressmen look to streamline FAA certification amid AAM growth. Government watchdog predicts unwelcome drone delivery spike. And EAA provides comment to FAA on proposed drone rulemaking. And I'm your host, Cam Walton. Welcome to Aero-News Network's Airborne-NextGen program, a weekly news program covering the next generation of flight from electric power to vertical lift, uncrewed vehicles, and everything in between. Let's get into today's stories. Congressmen look to streamline FAA certification amid AAM growth. A bipartisan group of senators and representatives has introduced the Aviation, Innovation, and Global Competitiveness Act, taking clear aim at the FAA's below-par aircraft type certification process. This is a long-standing problem that has stirred legislative efforts before to no avail, but lawmakers seem to think this time is different, thanks to advanced air mobility. Specifically, the bill would establish clearer timelines for FAA responses to exemption petitions and issue papers, define when additional review documentation is required, and expand delegation authority for routine compliance findings. It also tells the agency to report to Congress on certification workload and reform implementation. The complaint from industry is less about safety standards, not that they aren't a contested topic, and more about predictability. Manufacturers developing modern aircraft designs often face ever-changing certification pathways, shifting documentation requirements, and limited FAA staffing resources assigned to individual programs. Lawmakers responsible for introducing the legislation frame it as a competitiveness issue. U.S.-based AAM developers are moving toward certification at the same time as regulators in Europe and Asia lean hard into support programs. The main industry concern in the U.S. isn't that the FAA is necessarily too strict, but more that it risks taking significant time setbacks as global aerospace competition grows exponentially. After the break, NASA selects VAST for space station mission.
Are you ready to ace your FAA drone pilot knowledge test, get your remote pilot certificate, and start earning money? Well, flying a drone is a great tool that can open up new business opportunities for anyone. Realtor, insurance adjuster, videographer, or commercial weekend drone warrior, you need to fly legally. Whether you're pursuing your initial Part 107 remote pilot certificate or you need a renewal, King Schools has a course just for you. So start learning today at kingschools.com.
Welcome back. Now for some shorter stories in our next Gen Minute. NASA selects VAST for space station mission. NASA and VAST have signed an order for the 6th private astronaut mission to the ISS, targeted to launch no earlier than summer 2027 from Florida. This private astronaut mission marks the company's first selection to the orbiting laboratory. VAST will submit 4 proposed crew members to NASA and its international partners for review. Once approved and confirmed, they will train with NASA, international partners, and SpaceX for their flight. The company has contracted with SpaceX as launch provider. Bridging flight simulation with real-world training. FlightSim Expo is partnering with Skyfarer Academy to work on educational content, member benefits, and joint outreach initiatives to show practical pathways from flight simulation into real-world training, while also introducing simulation as a valuable training, proficiency, and currency tool for pilots. Flight simulation can be an important tool in aviation training to help pilots build procedural knowledge, confidence, and situational awareness. However, many simmers and early-stage pilots struggle to understand how and when to translate that experience into real-world flight training. Air Force's next-gen fighter logs first semi-autonomous flight. The Air Force's push toward collaborative combat aircraft took a hopeful step forward this month with General Atomics successfully sending the YFQ-42A fighter on its first semi-autonomous airborne mission. The operation ran off the Sidekick Collaborative Mission Autonomy System from Collins Aerospace. To begin the test, autonomy mode was activated from a ground control station. A human operator transmitted mission commands to the YFQ-42A platform for more than 4 hours of semi-autonomous flying. This relied on the Autonomy Government Reference Architecture, AGRA, built into the aircraft's flight controls.
SpaceX Falcon 9 sends Crew 12 to restock the ISS.
A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket lifted off from Cape Canaveral at 5:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 13, sending 4 astronauts toward the International Space Station to begin NASA's 8-month Crew 12 mission. The 4-person team joined just 3 others who had been manning the orbital laboratory since Crew 11's emergency departure last month. Inside the Dragon spacecraft were NASA astronauts Jessica Meir and Jake Hathaway, ESA astronaut Sophie Adno, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Andrei Fedyaev. The capsule docked autonomously with the station's Harmony module roughly 34 hours after launch, bringing the ISS back to its standard 7-person crew after exactly a month of running on fumes.
That was our Next Gen Minute. Now let's get to the rest of the news. Government watchdog predicts unwelcome drone delivery spike.
According to a recent government watchdog report, more than 1 million commercial drones were operating in the U.S. by the end of last year. The variety of roles these drones can serve has also grown exponentially, allowing them to tackle infrastructure inspections, disaster response, and, most widely foreshadowed, delivery services. Practically all of these jobs require companies to operate their drones beyond visual line of sight, or under BVLOS. The Federal Aviation Administration has been working on a new framework for this type of flying for years, hoping to shift the industry away from the individual permit philosophy. The agency recently gained ground on this matter by posting the proposed rules and taking public comment on 2 occasions. A government watchdog report highlights the broad public concern: detect and avoid. When a drone pilot can't see the aircraft directly, the drone needs other ways to spot traffic. There is a wide range of tools available to fill this gap, including onboard or ground-based cameras that provide a 360-degree view, acoustic sensors that pick up and analyze the sound of approaching aircraft, and ground radar feeds that help operators steer clear of conflicts. There is also ADS-B, which is the same system used by crewed aircraft to broadcast position data.
After these messages, EAA provides comment to FAA on proposed drone rulemaking.
The legendary BD-4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged 4-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD-4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD-4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit surewings.com and bdaviation.com for more detail.
Backed by over 30 years of Aero-News reporting, PropWash is the daily email newsletter that delivers top aviation headlines to your inbox, expert reporting, clean facts, and real insight. Start your day with aviation news you can trust. Subscribe to PropWash today at aero-news.net.
Welcome back. EAA provides comment to FAA on proposed drone rulemaking.
The Experimental Aircraft Association, EAA, provided comments to questions asked by the FAA looking deeper into ADS-B and the possibility of electronic conspicuity EC devices, an alternative to ADS-B contemplated to aid in collision avoidance between manned aircraft and drones. The EAA provided feedback aimed to support portable or installed, low-cost, low-power, anonymous, alternate EC devices intended solely to enhance air-to-air awareness and deconfliction. In answering additional technical questions from the FAA, EAA stressed that EC devices should be fundamentally different than installed ADS-B systems in terms of cost, performance, and intended use, but should be compatible with the ADS-B-N systems commonly used by manned aircraft for traffic deconfliction. Above all, EC systems should not be mandated and should fit into a layered approach to unmanned aircraft systems UAS integration, with several systems simultaneously assuring safety. The EAA said in both its original comments and these supplemental comments that every beyond visual line of sight UAS should be equipped with onboard detect and avoid systems that do not rely on position broadcast by other aircraft. As EAA indicated in these comments, even the most reliable position broadcast systems are subject to malfunction, and the system cannot rely on a single point of failure.
And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to add us on social media. Thanks for watching.